Welcome to The Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and The Daily Dish.
It's Transformational Tip Tuesday. How is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody is ready for this very excellent week. Hello, Juanita. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm glad, too, that we have Amber in the house. We also have our Jenny in the house, and we are getting things done. This whole week, we're talking about vibration because it is an odd subject. And I've always thought of it as being somewhat woo-woo and new age and weirdo-ness and all of that. And it's just not. It's science, y'all. It's science. There's Darla and Lisa. Catherine and Marguerite are in the house. Yay! High vibration. And the higher the vibration, the more complexity there is. The more complexity there is emotionally, intelligently wise with us. And the more we really start to enjoy our lives. It's really interesting. I showed you this yesterday. Well, look who's here. We also have Kathy and Angie and Cindy and Jackie also in the house. I showed you this chart yesterday, and I said, yeah, on the bottom was missing shame, which only had a 35. I'm going to be sharing some other things with you too, including some different food vibrations, which is interesting. All of these things and how collectively they play into the way we feel, because that's what it's all about, the way we feel. Because if we're feeling good about our lives, we're feeling good about the direction things are going. Have you noticed how much better it is and how you notice things differently and how you feel? I do. I notice that all the time. Hello there, Carla and Janet, and Noreen is in the house, throwing down the fire bombs. Because she's a Hot Melt 30 girl. Love that. You know, we're almost halfway through the Hot Melt 30 challenge. Can you believe that? It has been going really well. And I can't believe. So this is a shirt that I bought last year. I just want to show it to you. How, look at this. It's like I got this big gapy hole. Isn't that funny? I'm still wearing it, but you know, it's just obviously things have shifted. So I'm wondering maybe just a couple little, there it is. That's a little better, right? Not quite so. But I could put, you know, I could put my dog's face in there. Not that I want to. I see Joanne and Laura and Juanita. Yes, please go back and watch yesterday's. Yesterday was kind of setting the foundation of what this whole vibrational thing is without getting into the weirdo woo-woo stuff. Certainly you can find that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm a big fan of Joe Dispenza. I think I've shared with you some of his stuff before, and on my list is going to one of his events because he brings all of this vibrational stuff into how it works and operates throughout your system and your body, and that how we can channel. And when I say channel, I'm not talking woo-woo weirdo channel like spirits and what have you, but how we channel our energy into our reticular activating system and everything else that's around us. He has some like really crazy stories that he tells about his own healing, his daughter, and visualizing things too. I mean, just like, wow. Sharon said she wants to go too. Sharon, he's like amazing. I have read and listened to, I think, all of his books. And I would actually go, these are books that I would actually go back and reread again. He's that impactful. Hi, Deborah. I'm so glad you're here. Corliss. And of course, Sharon's here as well. Denise is in the house. Hi, Lisa. Lovely Lisa's here. There's Sarah. She loves great big gapy holes. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to tell you that story. I love that. It feels good though to be able to put on things from last year and go, whoa, that's way too big. Nice. Our quote of the week is a good one. This is John Dryden, and he says, when we first make our habits, then our habits make us. And we know that to be fact, right? We first make our habits and then our habits make us. This is how we get onto the path of where we want to go. You know, bad habits are never going to serve. And we know that for a fact. And I've noticed in the Hot Melt Sprint group, everybody's on high ponytail alert. So let's see what you got. Sarah's done hers. Who else did theirs? Patsy did hers. We had Alice did it. Kimberly did. I don't know how that all started, but it's really been entertaining. So keep it up. I want to see your high ponytails. Hi, Lisa. The author I just mentioned is Joe Dispenza, Dispenza, I believe, or along those lines. Joe Dispenza. Amazing. There it is, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Thanks, Diane. Hi, Diane, by the way. And it just, I mean, honestly, your eyeballs will pop out of your head. He's not a spiritual woo-woo weirdo. He's talking about the science of how our bodies work and how, I mean, God made us like this. And when we understand the complexity and what it all means and how it's all connected, you know, that's when I think that just brings me to my knees. I don't know about you, but it brings me to my knees, and it just makes me just pouring out with gratitude. That's how I look at it. Our journals are ever so present, and our journals are high vibe. Can I just say that? High vibe. And I was playing a little quote deck roulette. Have you guys started playing this, by the way? Keep it up. High ponytail jokes. Oh no, here it goes. But bump. It's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. And I put this one on, this is from the quote deck that I pulled. This is from when I was playing quote deck roulette yesterday, because I told you my whole story of how lowbrow and how low vibe I went with my neighbor and his pissy attitude. Let's just call it for what it is, right? And his wife's pissy attitude. Let's just say that's what it was. But I came back with, boy, did I plan something, you know, to be equally pissy and equally crappy back. And then I thought of this and I thought, boy, talk about unguarded thoughts. That is my own worst enemy. And here it is right now. So check out the quote decks. You know, they are life-changing. When we change our mind, we're changing our environment. We're changing what we look at, what we see, what we think about. That's what the quote deck is. savingdinner.com/quote. And there's like 50 other ones here that you can go take a look-see. Also, our mindful mugs are flying. We have a new design coming out, guys, but these need to go first. So go get them. Just don't stick it in the dishwasher. Would you not do that? Go to savingdinner.com/mug for it. And speaking of high vibe, who here is in love with their journal? Are you doing your Take Back Your Life journal? Have you noticed the needle moving in your life? Have you seen what it means to be in the trenches every single day and noticing that your goals are so important that you write them down every day? It changes everything. It's a changer. You change your mind, you change your life. That's all there is to it. And do you remember? Oh, yay, Terry's here. It's all good. Steph's here. So's Carol. Love that. Thanks for coming. Martha's here too. Whoa, Sarah's down 8 pounds. Flynn is in the house. This is all good. Yes, go watch the guide on go watch the whole thing, the workshop, Lisa, on how to use it. I wrote this thing and came up with all the concepts based on a book that I read called The 12-Week Year, which was such a game changer, just readjusted the way I thought. But the journal and the way that we do it really it's just like, it's amazing. And that's like, I'm putting on this blouse and finding it to be awfully big, but you know, I'm pleased with that. Again, I'm not looking at the scale. I'm just looking at how things are fitting. It's very, very freeing. Hi there, Marianne. So you know about our tool. They're all at savingdinner.com/tools, and you can click on them at any time. But I want you to know about them because they're high vibe. They help you elevate and up-level your life to the life you want, because your environment's important. Secondarily, did you see what we have for our supplement of the week? Now, our supplement of the week isn't just a supplement. It is, I feel like cha-cha-cha, you know? It's so much fun with these. It's our core 4. This is the Wise Women's core 4. These are the most important core supplements that you need. If you're going to not take anything and take this, you will notice a big difference. We've had so many testimonials from people saying, hey, I feel like a new woman because I've started taking this. That's because it's hitting the places we miss the most. And you'll find this, you know, they're already 15% off in a little bundle. Now, if you buy 3 sets of these, we'll give you the 4th set absolutely free. Now, that is a screaming deal. So go check it out, savingdinner.com/show. That's where we house them. That's where we keep them. And I promise you it's well worth your while. Also, wait do you see what we have coming up for the gala? You guys all voted, by the way. Everybody wants it on Crowdcast. And for that, I say pinkies up because it's going to be so much more fun on Crowdcast. Big Brother won't be watching. We'll be able to play some music, dance party. Anybody who's gonna dance with me? Pinkies up if you're a dancer. Yes. We're gonna have dance party. We're gonna have a really good time. And we are gonna dress up, sisters. Sparkle, razzle dazzle, the whole bit. You betcha it's gonna be happening. It's gonna be fun. Mark your calendars. That's June 13th and 14th. In the day, during the regular show, and again in the evening at 7 p.m. Plus, if you want to be and join us for Saving Dinner for our Full Bloom event, it's here. It's here in person in Brevard, North Carolina. We've got the venue. We've got everything has come together. Lisa says she's a chair dancer. I'm glad to see this. Woohoo! June's on. June. June's going to be doing, and Sarah's bringing the razzle dazzle. Amber, Sarah's bringing the razzle dazzle. And Noreen's birthday's on June 13th. Are you kidding me? Well, we've got lots to celebrate. Noreen, I want to see your sparkle razzle dazzle. June 13th and 14th, it will be at 1 p.m. Eastern, as usual, on Crowdcast and probably simulcast here as well. And at nighttime, it's going to be on Crowdcast because that's when the dance party's happening. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. What? You guys, the things we have planned. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. So that's what we have coming up, and that's all I have to tell you. Get yourself, say, hey, I'm coming. savingdinner.com/bloom. The Sunset is June 13th, 14th for the gala, exactly. The Sunset Motel is where a lot of people are going, and plus they're Airbnb-ing it, whatever, do whatever you want. But the point is, excuse me, it is all about you being able to get a place to stay with your sisters and having a really good time. Oh, did I say June? I'm sorry, not June. June 13th. That's over. Today's the 15th. July 13th and 14th. You guys, sorry. Sparkling, Noreen, sparkling. And July. Because otherwise we already had it, and I'm telling you about it in the past tense. It's the 15th today. All right, that's enough out of me. I mean, I've had it. Wait do you see what we're also debuting? You know, we have some really cool things coming up on that we will be debuting on the gala. So you have to come. All right. Do you remember? Okay, Q&A. Don't forget. Question for Leanne on Friday. Send it into support@savingdinner.com, and we will take it out. Do you remember yesterday when we were talking about what did I say that Einstein had a quote, and it was like everything is vibration, everything, totally 100% everything. You know, we respect our physicists, don't we? We respect them. So, and I also said there's also a quote by Nikola Tesla, but I can't remember. But basically, that everything is is a vibration of the universe. So guess what? This is my You Are a Badass calendar, right? Look at this is today's thing. If you want to find the secrets of the universe and think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Do you think that was a coincidence? I say no. I say that's a godcidence, if you will. And I would say that everything happens on purpose for a reason. And I think today means that you need to be listening up to this. I need to be listening up to this because here is where all the connections happened. It's all connected. We are a part of this. You are as important to this universe as the stars in the sky, as the Milky Way, as each one of the planets is hung. You are a part of this because you are vibration, you are frequency, and you are energy. And that's how we're all put together. What do you mean you bought yourself something for the gala? Sorry. Oh, Sarah, I can't help but look at those. When you say something like that, I have to go take a look. See? Everybody's going to be celebrating Noreen's birth. We have to wear sparkly things. It's the old razzle dazzle, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm expecting, go to the Goodwill and get a prom dress even. I'm gonna do my hair up so big. It's gonna Simpson's gonna be jealous. We're gonna have big hair, big earrings, big sparkles, all of it. But today, back to the serious nature of today, back to this whole thing about being so connected, about energy and vibration and frequency. You know, it's in every single one of our cells. There's an electrical current that goes right on top of the cells. That's what hydration is all about. And that's why I'm always so adamant about not just washing your kidneys, but making sure that you have your electrolytes in place and your fiber, because that's what helps the hydration to get into each one of those cells. And when that happens, we start feeling better, and we start feeling a little less like all I ever do is run to the bathroom. That's why this is an important component of hydration. An electrical charge, an actual vibration going right over the top of those cells. That's so cool. I mean, who does stuff like this? Well, I'll tell you, God. God does things like this. He connects all of the little ends and all of the little pieces and puts them together in such an extraordinary package. Last Sunday, I shared with you, I was sitting there on the front porch, and I got dive bombed by this little hummingbird. Now, there's bird feeders all over the place here, and I'm just like, no, don't fill the bird feeders. It also attracts the bears, so we didn't want to do that. But there's also a little hummingbird feeder that's, just sitting out there, and I finally took it down. But it's like the hummingbirds came back, and they were letting me know, this is my expectation, that there is something here for me, bring me this thing. But I was looking at this little hummingbird, the beauty of this hummingbird as it came by, the green and the red and the long beak, and how they just, the whole thing, the whole package. And I thought, that is vibrational beauty right there. Incredible vibrational beauty. And that's what vibration is. You can see it in the texture and in the beauty of God's creation. Every little creature, every little thing. I was looking, we have all these wild ferns growing on the whole side of our house. And I thought, well, that's kind of beautiful. And I don't have to do a darn thing about it, right? Nothing. All I have to do is just look at it and appreciate it. That's high vibration right there. So this to me is truly a best practice, if you will, for living, is that raising your vibe, really, raising your vibe is just becoming conditioned to what's you're around. Remember, we talked about the art and craft of noticing yesterday. And that's what it is. Noticing all of these beautiful, I didn't have to plant a single one. They're all there just springing out and being beautiful and decorating that whole side of my hill. I mean, that's gorgeous. I noticed it. I put enormous gratitude into. I said a prayer of thanks for those beautiful ferns that I don't have to tend to. All of that raised my vibration, raised my awareness of everything that's around here. And it helps, because that's what this whole thing is. This is how we attract in the things that we want. Simply from the gratitude, simply from the place of understanding that we're created to operate in this world from a place of high vibration, because we've been given high vibration. And we're the ones who bring it down. We're high vibrational creatures by nature. If you put the little vibrations thing, it's the accelerometer thingy that measures vibration on you versus, this teacup, which, by the way, Diane, I really love. Diane gave me this. As much as I love this cup, it doesn't have high vibration. It gives me high vibration by reading it, Living Life in Full Bloom. You understand what I'm saying here. So when we understand that, we connect with the high vibration of noticing, the high vibration of feeling and appreciating and having gratitude for things. Have you noticed how your tiny little world expands and how our hearts grow? You can almost feel them growing in your chest. Our empathy grows. The beauty of what we experience all grows. And that's a best practice for living. And it just brings us to this place of just starting to notice, just starting to be appreciative, just starting to have a little bit of gratitude for all the things around. It raises things up, all of it. It's a matter of direction, is what it is. So, what we know then is that the brain is a hub for all of this. It's like the switching station, responsible for making sure the energy goes here or the energy goes there. You've seen switching stations. You've seen train tracks have them. They switch it and change it out over here. But that's just a channel where the energy goes. Our brains are the ones responsible for where the energy goes. So if our energy is being put onto all this negative garbage and what have you, no wonder we feel so terrible. You can't have a high vibrational gratitude and swelling heart and feeling really good about your life or the world you live in, or just having a smidge of gratitude for anything, if you're missing the boat on your focus, because your focus is what's going to direct that energy. Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your energy? Is it going toward building yourself up and the people around you and all the ones that you love? Or is it just going toward this, negative circly downward thing? So Joe Dispenza, I told you he's the one I was talking about. He's done his research on this vibrational energy. And he says this, which I think is so interesting. And I think it's in You Are the Placebo. I'm pretty sure it's in that book. When we're off and we're focused on the wrong stuff for a long enough time, there's a reason why our health starts to give us trouble. There's a reason why we start to feel off and imbalanced. There's a reason why we live fearful and doubt-filled lives. We don't see the miracle of our everyday life because we're not looking for it. We don't see the goodness and the graciousness and the abundantness of what's out there. Is abundantness a word? Abundance of what's out there. We can't, because our focus is completely off. And we're so much focused then on all of this negativity, which leads us to this place of feeling off balance, full of doubt, full of fear, which just continually, that's that negative loop that feeds itself. So I've shared with you before my friend David Bayer, who I did a program with him for a couple of years ago, which was really great. I learned so many fun new things. But I love his mantra, and this mantra just made me go, bam, my head just lit up. And it was this: I believe life is always working out on my behalf. So if we believe that life is always working out on our behalf, is this just being, overly optimistic, Pollyanna-ish? Or if we put our belief, if we put our energy and we put our hope into that, is our reticular activating system going to start choosing and picking and noticing the evidence that we need to support this? I say yes. I say yay and amen. And I say, if we can just look at one thing here, let's just look at what was on the calendar page for today. God drops hints every single day. He's dropping a hint here and a hint there. It's like breadcrumbs, And the magical part about this is there's no bird going to come up and swoop it unless you allow the birds in. That's where the focus gets off. And we have the whole capacity, the capability, the imagination, scope of the imagination, as Anne Shirley would say. We have it all at our fingertips, just simply by starting with noticing. We notice the beautiful sunset. We don't just go outside and look at it. We notice it. We experience it. We start saying things like, can you imagine what it would take to create something like that? Can you imagine? We have the capacity and the capability at any moment in time to drop our attitudes and instead to step into the place of noticing. When we start to notice, then we start to raise our vibration. Raising our vibration is what collects us and collects all of this energy and brings it into our lives. Look at what Marguerite has been posting in our Facebook group. So she takes a picture, part of our Hot Melt 30, take a picture of herself. She's been taking pictures of herself, but she's also sharing the beauty she's found along the way. And Lizzie's been sharing pictures. You took a, wow. Sarah said she took a picture of this week's quote of the week last Thursday before it was announced. Wow, that's pretty intense. See how we jive? That's noticing. And when we notice, and I start with nature. You know why I always start with nature? Because that is such a statement of God's care and love and beauty for us. Debbie says music immediately raises her vibe. It does. All of these things raise your vibe. And do you know that they actually measured the vibe of a Big Mac? 0. They also connected the broccoli and blueberries, and lots of high vibes. And you remember this. This is enlightenment and peace and joy and serenity. All of these things. Look at this is the actual vibrational frequency. And like I said, on the bottom is apathy, gets a 50, leads to despair, and shame, what got cut off here. But shame's a 30. And we know this just low, low, low. And you know what I've noticed? There we go, back to noticing. You know what I've noticed? Is that when we're in this high vibrational thing, that the world is a whole lot bigger place. There's a whole lot more people. There's a whole lot more love to give out. There's a whole lot more empathy. And there's an understanding that happens inside of you that wouldn't have happened otherwise. But when you're closed down, when you're in the place of fear and anxiety and you're frightened and everything, and it's smaller and smaller and smaller, all you see is that. You don't see all the other people around you. You don't experience. You don't notice. You're only noticing yourself and your stuff. And that is slow vibe. And that's not to say that, I'm not dismissing or not acknowledging that I've experienced depression, certainly. I think we've all done that at some point. I mean, to the point where I needed medication. Not gonna lie, it was a sucky time of life for me. But I had an end game in mind. And I think one of the things that has saved me a lot in my life has been asking, like yesterday I talked about the why ladder. Keep asking the questions why. So when the doctor talked to me and said, maybe we need to consider an antidepressant, I had already looked them up. And I decided on one that was kind of an off-brand, but I knew, 1, it wasn't going to make me gain 20 pounds like most of these do. 2, it had the least amount of side effects. And 3, I told the doctor I will do it. I will take this for, I think it was 90 days or something like that, or 3 weeks, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was 90 days. And then I'm done. So I gave myself a deadline. I knew that I did not want to be taking this long term. And then I knew that therefore I would need other coping mechanisms. And, that's just the way I think that's one of my talents, if you will, is that I can see big picture. All the time I can see big picture. And I'm always looking toward the future. And that saved me from being just, here's your pills, get out of my office kind of a thing. I don't want to be that person. So we all can shift, though, to a higher vibe and a better connection to our heart and mind. Tesla tells us this, that it is the secret of the universe in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. It is the secret. This is what makes everything happen. It's what it's the glue that holds us all together. So can you imagine for you, this one little person here in this universe, what does that mean for you? We're sort of a microcosm of the whole universe, aren't we? Think about it. There's, we have systems too, just like the solar system, as I said. We have systems. We have a circadian clock. We operate almost in miniature. That's weird. I mean, I don't know where this just came from, but I just have to say that I think that what we need to do is start adopting and believing and putting ourselves into the place of understanding that if we choose to, we can believe that life is always working on our behalf, even when it looks pretty crappy. even when it's awful. Debbie, we don't have cicadas. All these cicada jokes on TV and reporters getting attacked by cicadas. We have no cicadas. I'm not disappointed. I'm not a fan. Can I just say they're disgusting? My son used to collect cicada skins, had them all, we had a big board with all of his conquests, including cicada skins. No thanks. But this is the shift that we make, is by noticing. That's how we start. We notice. And then we adapt or adopt a mantra that shows us, yes, indeed, this is indeed happening. I believe life is always working out on my behalf. Always. Do you believe that about yourself? Or do you just look around and say, yeah, but you're wrong, Leanne, my life sucks? Or do you believe that life is always working out on your behalf? It's a choice. And I have to tell you that I think that if we believe that, we have to leverage our very first tool out of the toolbox, and that is gratitude. Very, very first tool out of the toolbox is gratitude. And if you're part of the Take Back Your Life journal crew, you see it right here. Look, first thing, today I'm grateful for. We start that way, because if we can start like this, we're setting the table for what's to come. We're setting the table for what's to come. And it gets our eyes off ourselves. Are you not tired of endless navel gazing? I certainly am. And I want to project out. I want to go out. I don't want to get stuck in, my neighbor revenge story from yesterday. I don't want to get stuck in that stuff. I don't want to get stuck in the negativity of all of that. It was just like, shut it all down. Everybody's got an opinion, but I've read this really great quote today. And opinion is one of the lowest vibes on the planet, because, we pick and choose from our confirmation bias, don't we? We all do. I do, you do, we all do. It's a universal thing. This is what we do as humans. We pick and choose what we want. It's like a big buffet table of choices. But what we want truly in the end out of all of this is not to be right, but to be loved, and to love in return, and to be accepted, and to have empathy, and to have a loving relationship with those around you, and to enjoy and love your life. Vibrancy, capital V. So gratitude increases that receptivity to it, just the same way that hydration, that fiber and electrolytes increases the receptivity to hydration. It's electrical. It's vibrational. It's on the same current, if you will. Isn't that interesting? So the other thing is, and I wrote this out, is that gratitude thwarts the Yabbas, because that's what happens when we're in this place of defending the garbage life that we've been leading. Yeah, but you don't get it. Yeah, but not this time. Nope. Yeah, but. Gratitude thwarts that, because gratitude throws us a ringer and says, "We'll hold the phone," because that's not going to work. And it's true. And so when we're in higher vibration and we're in higher energy, that means that we have greater receptivity and we have a changed mind. That's how the whole thing works. Boom, 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 all the way through. And when we purposely go about raising that our vibe, we choose high vibe thoughts over the low brow stuff, and we're more creative, we're happier. And guess what? Your reticular activating system is on fire, looking for evidence to support all these new thoughts that you're thinking. That's what happens. Isn't that the coolest thing you've ever heard? I just keep coming back to this whole thing, and I'm sorry if I've said it 100 times, but I will continue to say this. God creates things with such intricacy, such plans, such perfection, and this is evidence of that. And if we allow for that, living our lives in gratitude to Him and the Creator and all of creation and participating in it, then we change our minds. We change our focus. We stop nasal gazing and we start looking out into the beauty of the created world. And we start feeling it and we start vibing on that high vibe. and the energy becomes more ours. It doesn't skip out. It doesn't say, yeah, not you. You know, we're all in it together. One big messy pot. So that to me is just like, that's just mind blowing to me. So I've got a to-do list then for you, okay, to create some of this stuff. Okay, this is how you create these high vibes. And a lot of this you've heard before, but this all matches what we're talking about. One is appreciate and surround yourself with beauty and order. You know, God is a God of order. So order, weed your garden, you know, weed your mind. Declutter something, go clean your house, go outside and start gazing at the sunset and watching the sunrise. My friend Christina Rasmussen, I've been on her wonderful podcast, by the way. She's incredible and wrote a book, Second First. She's the one that I told you about, the grief counselor that had to change her mind on what grief really was when she lost her husband early. And she's just amazing. And I adore her. And she made a decision to start rising with the sun and take a picture every day with it. This was a couple of years ago. And it just changed her life because of this, because it raised her vibration. It raised her sense of beauty and sense of wonder in the world. And when we're living like that, with that deep sense, it connects us with who made us and gave us breath in the first place. So, you know, go out and literally smell the flowers and start having that appreciation. Number 2, high vibe food only. I just told you about the blueberries and the broccoli versus the Big Mac. Isn't it interesting how that Big Mac is going to, you know, create total wreckage? You know, all this food, all this stuff. I would love to see, you know, every fast food get the vibe out of it. See what it is. I bet you it's pretty sad. And we feel the difference. I mean, just look at it. Eat well, feel good. Eat poorly, don't feel so good. You know, garbage in, garbage out. It's really that simple. But it's also make sure that you're fueling this high vibe life that you want with high vibe food. 3 is create vibration in our cells by hydrating correctly. I just told you about that. These are the 2 things that I was mentioning. It's fiber mender and it's hot melt mix, right? You want to hear something? So Mark, who used to weigh 224 pounds, now weighs 220. He is hot melt mixing all day long. He's also, you know, working outside or working in our thing. I mean, he just 20 pounds just like that. It just makes me so mad. But it's interesting because I was explaining the whole thing about electrolytes. And so he started pumping in the hot melt mix and just dropped 15 pounds like that. Whatever, men. So these 2 things work together, and we have more on that. We have a hydration webinar that we'll plug you into later if you want to really learn about it. It's very interesting stuff. It's not just water, okay? It's not just water. Meditation, in my opinion, I'm not going to go into the whole thing about it, but meditation is better than medication anytime. And that was one of the needle movers for me. After I did my dose of all the medication, the depression medication that I was on, boom, I started meditating. That opened the door for me. Just, you know, changes your whole body's chemistry. 5, gratitude will obliterate a bad attitude. I promise you. It's just, the 2 things can't exist together. It raises your vibe. Number 6, do kind things. You know, you don't have to have lots of bucks to do something kind. Pick up the phone and call someone. Go next door to the lady next door and trim her hedges, the older lady that lives there. Do something kind and think in terms of what can I do? So one of the 2 questions that I have is, how can I serve? And how can I love more? You know, nobody's ever going to come to you and say, you love me too much. I mean, you know, obviously if you're a weirdo, narcissist, you know, we have things going on. There's no such thing as that. How can I love more? That's a great question to ask yourself. Number 7 is move your vibrational self. Did you know that your endorphins respond in kind? Yes, of course you do. I've told you that 100 times. But this is when you open the door to movement, you open the door to higher vibes, and endorphins create higher vibes. How about that? Heavily meditated. I love that. I'm going to need that shirt. That's perfect. Your husband was 253, and now with Hot Milk Sprint, he's 185. Catherine, wow, I didn't know he lost that much. That's fantastic. Good for him. I'm proud of him. And that's number 7 is this movement movement is basically gratitude for your body, saying thank you, to the one who gave it to you in the first place. These connections and consciousness, all of this stuff, it all goes hand in hand to connect with your high vibrational self, because a very high vibrational God made you, perfectly, fearfully and wonderfully made, on purpose and for purpose, and not so that you'll slink into the corner like a little potato that got left behind with eyes coming out of it and moldy, sad. No, so that you will live and do and be in your purpose. He wants that for you because he has plans for you to do something, not just take up space. And we get to do this as we connect with it. And this is how your dreams will come true, by the way, connecting with all of these things. This is how it happens. And believe it or not, a lot of times we think, well, what if our dreams aren't the same as what God is? I have a feeling, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, that it's on purpose, for purpose, and that the meeting of the minds is going to be absolutely awesome. And you're going to see it. And you're going to say, you know what? Game on. Let's go. You'll know it when you see it, because your reticulating activating system is going to bring it in, going to land it right down there, right in front of you, right when you don't expect it. How do you like that? Let's live in the high vibe. What do you say? Pinkies up on that one? I think it's the best way to go. So peace be with you. I'm going to go look at a house for my daughter. So prayers for that would be really awesome. I appreciate you all, and you all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.